Hi, and welcome back. And as always, thank you for joining me today. I had something else in mind today that I wanted to discuss, which was structured and organized. And yesterday was the first snowfall. And it kind of made me think about or reflect on how many winters that I thought that I was going to be a mom, that I wasn't, excuse me, which led me to think about specific times during our journey where I wish I had a therapist that had his or her own surrogacy journey. And I wanted to share those times with you and be fully transparent. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Times where I wish I had a therapist who had insight, preferably their own journey with the surrogate or gestational carrier. So the first time would have been when we first miscarried with the surrogate. And it was a tough time because a miscarriage is a tough time. I hear my daughter. It is a tough time. I was dealing with my own grief and my own stuff, dealing with my husband's, and us dealing with it as partners. And then you add this third person to the dynamics who you are essentially grieving with as well. As weird as it may seem, I think that was definitely when we became closer. But I would have loved to have been able to process that or grieve that with someone who had an understanding of the dynamics with the husband and the wife, the partners and the carrier. The second time would have been after every failed transfer, especially the first failed transfer. Again, it's this feeling that's not really describable. I definitely could have received more help with that, because you don't necessarily have to have a surrogate to have a failed transfer. And with that said, in my circle, I have someone who did IVF and who had, same as I, many failed transfers, and they were just super, super, super supportive, and I love them forever. But yes, after each failed transfer, someone who understood what that was like and who understood with each transfer, I personally had this need to want to protect our carrier, but at the same time, you start to question, is she the problem? And as horrible as that sounds, that was something that came up that I would have loved that process with someone who understands that you're not taking out any anger, but you're just starting to question everything. Lastly, I would say anything that was just weird or uncomfortable to tell the average person. In full transparency, for me, as weird as it sounds, I felt like no one was treating me like someone who was actually pregnant, because for me, I was actually pregnant. Without going into much detail, that was a tough time. And now explaining it, it sounds kind of like, what? You didn't act like people, well, how are they supposed to treat you? But I felt like if I was physically carrying and they saw that I was pregnant, I would have been treated differently. And that's full transparency. So I hope today was helpful. I hope maybe it clicked something helpful for you. I hope that your journey is successful. I hope you have many winters, summers, falls, and spring with your beautiful baby when the time comes. And best of luck on your journey.